Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a replay from, well, it appears to be L1NV5. We're just going to call him 1 for this replay. He's part of the VNES clan. He's playing by himself, and it's some domination here on the map Mountain Range. So if you'd like to send a replay into BIA, please send it to BIAworldofwarships, all lowercase, at gmail.com. Please include the replay file, post-game screenshots, a brief description of the battle, and then if you'd like myself or Spider to do the commentary, you can also request that in your email submission. So, the Yugumo here in World of Warships. What do you need to know about it? What is the skinny for this Tier 9 Japanese destroyer? Well, first off, it doesn't have a lot of hit points. 15,500 when it is fully upgraded without Survivability Expert. It's definitely on the very low end for Tier 9 and honestly high tier destroyers. Japanese DDs generally don't have a lot of hit points to work with, and the Yugumo is no exception. The guns, however, are pretty okay. You have 3 turrets with 2 guns apiece for a total of 6, and they have a 5.7 second reload time before you factor in any captain skills and adrenaline rush or equipment as well. So it's actually pretty nice. If you do spec this fully for a gunboat, it's okay. You can get that reload below 5 seconds, and you still have very workable torpedoes, so it's honestly not a bad idea as he accidentally fires his forward turret, but I digress. It's not a bad idea, but generally speaking, Jap DDs are much better off going with torpedo builds. Speaking of the torpedoes, you have 3 options. The fully upgraded Kagero Torps are the stock ones on this. The Type 93 Mod 2s, they have a range of 10 kilometers, a speed of 67 knots, and 20,900 maximum damage. When you get the Type 93 Mod 3s, you gain 2 kilometers worth of range, same speed at 67 knots, but the damage goes up to a very healthy 23,766 maximum damage. So that's very, very nice, and it only takes 2 seconds longer for it to reload. And then lastly, you can choose the Type F3s for those of you out there that are very cheeky. They only have an 8-kilometer range, but they have a very, very fast top speed of 76 knots and a maximum damage of 21,300. These are more commonly referred to as Zhao torpedoes. When it comes to other parts of the ship, the AA is pretty bad. The maneuverability is alright, especially the rudder shift, 3.6 seconds before you factor in any rudder equipment. It's very nice. The concealment is also very good as well. It's around 5.7, 5.8 kilometers, I believe. This is the sneakiest destroyer at Tier 9, so it's a very good scout whenever there's not too many aircraft or radar cruisers to go around. However, if you look right now on screen at his consumables, this really isn't that much of a surprise. It's been in the game for quite some time. The torpedo reload booster. Now, you can, again, you can get rid of the smoke screen that you have on Japanese DDs and replace it with this torpedo reload booster. And he's going to take advantage of that here. You can see that the smoke screen that is just off his port side, he is launching torpedoes. He's got about 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the reload, and then he decides to hit the TRB, and it immediately downsizes that to only 8 seconds. So what you're able to do with this ship is get 16 torpedoes into the water, more or less at the same time. And what this causes is that if you decide to stagger your torpedo launches, you can put yourself in a situation where you get a torpedo hit on an enemy ship, he uses his repair, and by the time his repair is over with, he will be taking flooding, and miraculously the Fletcher torpedo does not TK him right there, puts him down to 243 hit points. I have no idea how he lived through that, I'll be honest with you. It hit dead center right underneath the central portion of the ship. Fletcher torpedoes have, I believe, over 19,000 maximum damage, so yeah, I'm really not sure how he did not kick the bucket from that. But this is the reason why this replay is being showcased to you guys, because, well, he gets put down to, you know, almost nothing hit points wise, not even 4 minutes into the game, and the result that he's going to end up having is one that impressed me. Very much so when I was watching this replay for the first time. However, the Benson, 6.2 kilometers away, it looks like he's going to get in range to be able to spot him. The Benson's detection is 5.8, and he is just able to get out of dodge. That Benson, oh so close. If he was only a few hundred meters further up in front, that Benson would have proximity detected him, and then his game probably would have been over. He also got his torpedo reload booster salvo set going downrange at the enemy Iowa that's in the smoke screen. Maybe he'll get a hit, maybe not. But thus far in the game, he really hasn't been able to do that much due to the hit points that he lost very early in this one. However, it does look like that based off of the position of the Iowa, he will land one, and he does manage to land two. So there must have been something else in that smoke screen, because that Iowa certainly was not in a position to eat the rightmost torpedo that impacted. So he must have hit something up to 35,000 points of damage. Both of the ships that did get hit by the torpedoes used their damage controls immediately. And that's, like I said, why the torpedo reload booster can be extremely deadly, because in a situation like this, if he gets hit by another one, that flooding will be unrepairable, and it will spell the doom of the vessel that took the torpedo. And of course, since it's the higher tiers, flooding damage actually has higher potency than the lower tiers. So if you are on the repair cooldown and you get hit by one, well, it's pretty much game over unless you're able to disengage immediately, but generally speaking, that isn't the case. So at this point, if you're wondering why the replay is in this perspective, when he sent it in from his perspective, it was extremely rubber bandy, I guess, and I think I just created that, but his ship was moving around all over the place when it was just sailing, you know, without looking at any enemy ships, and it was, you know, perfect 60 FPS. So I decided to switch. And when you watch replays back, for those of you that don't know, if you click the left mouse button, it gives you a sort of free cam. It doesn't actually detach it from the ship, but it allows you to look around while the camera is still technically connected to the ship. So that's why you can see here, he's actually stayed in the torpedo aiming. That's why it looks odd, because after he fires his torpedoes, most people, you know, hit the 1 or 2 key to switch back to their guns, but he's not actually going to really do that for the remainder of this replay. He just is looking downrange, and you can tell that he does have adrenaline rush going in this ship. At the beginning, it was about a 1 minute and 25-second reload. However, right when he dropped that salvo, it was down to about 1 minute and 7 seconds, so he's milking virtually as much out of adrenaline rush as possible. And he's actually making some very nice and very smart plays here, just dropping more torpedoes downrange, and even if they do miss, you can see here with this adrenaline rush active, it's very, very nice. Now, one big mistake that he makes is right here, getting way too close to the Yamato. He's only on 243 hit points. Any shell that touches him is going to kill him. And you saw that one landed just behind the Yamato and very, very close to the stern of his ship. I'm sure that would have been pretty rowdy in chat if whoever's shells came his way managed to take him out. So when you're on very low hit points, be careful about getting close to your friendlies. It's very dangerous to do so, and you almost paid for it right there. At this point, however, the game is looking very terribly. It's 131 to 429. I know Puddin covered this on a video that he had a couple weeks ago on Mountain Range. You always should go B to C, or B and C, I should say. Going A is usually not the best option, and the reason why is because B and C are much closer to each other, and also that line of islands that goes down the middle part of the map, the 4 and 5 line, to be honest with you, it separates A so much that it forces the enemy team to go through the narrow channels to get to B, and it's very difficult. However, well, this isn't a normal replay, and when he sent it in, he did say that it was a pretty sick comeback, and I gotta say, on a Mountain Range game where your team is losing control, or has already lost control of B, and C will be under their control, you know, I'd be very skeptical for them to come back and win this game, but we'll see how they take care of business. His next torpedo salvo going downrange at the Freddy. We're going to follow these torpedoes in. It looks like he's going to be able to get 3 on target. Will that be enough to take care of business? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Devastating strike, taking care of that Tier 9 German battleship, the Friedrich de Grosse. And now it is only 153 to 448. So a very nice dev strike right there. He's up to 93,000 points of damage. And to be honest, if he were to die right now, this would be a pretty respectable game in this ship. So, yeah, I've been talking a lot. Real quickly for you guys, please put in the comments below. So that match analysis series that we've been doing where you know, take a much more in-depth look at somebody's gameplay, whether it be, you know, one of us here at BIA or one of you guys. Let us know if you're still interested in that. And, you know, these videos are generally longer, and I pause it and I look over the mini-map and all this stuff. It's kind of similar to the tactics and strategy series that we do. However, I, you know, minutely focus on just the player and what his decision making is. So if you guys still like that and would like to see that, please let us know down in the comment section. So at this point, he dropped his torpedoes downrange at the Iowa. Unfortunately, he did not anticipate that drop a little bit better. So the Iowa, because it has the very nice speed, looks like it will be able to get out of dodge. If that was another battleship, you know, maybe something like a Yamato, there's a chance that it would get hit by one, but that Iowa is definitely speeding up. The Admiral Hipper and the Minotaur are over at the C cap, and yeah, that's going to fall to the enemy team here really quickly. So honestly, at this moment, I was thinking to myself, when I was watching it back for the first time, how in the world did they manage to come back and win this one? And he actually did hit the very rear portion of the Iowa with a torpedo. So a bit unlucky for that Iowa. I don't think he was expecting that, but I digress. Still got hit on the rear portion. You can also see the friendly Shimakaze. There's actually going to be a nice little bit of teamwork here between these two guys. The Shimmy drops his torpedoes, and he's going to get quite a few hits on the Yamato. Look at all the torpedoes, at least 4, probably 5, slammed into the side of that Tier 10 Japanese battleship. But unfortunately, one here decides to drop his torpedoes as he figured the Yamato would continue to back up. And in a situation like that, it is tricky when ships are going at very slow speeds. Yes, it's very difficult to judge it correctly because you're not 100% sure if they're going to continue to go forward or backwards. But unfortunately for him, the Yamato is now speeding up, and it does not appear that he will take any of his torpedoes, not even the leftmost one. So, yeah, let's see here. The friendly Zhao's up at C3. Not 100% sure what he's doing there. Well, torps were meant for the Yamato, and a Dev Strike number 2 on the Shimakaze, dealing just over 20,000 hit points. That was pretty awesome. And yeah, the randomness of that torpedo salvo. I'll be honest, that Shimakaze hasn't even been... Well, no, he was last spotted at like D4. So that was a long time ago. And he managed to snag him. Must have hit him right underneath the middle portion of the ship. Just going to show you that RNG still has her ways in this game. He eats one underneath the midsection, doesn't die. The Shimakaze on the enemy team does and kicks the bucket. So at this point, he's now looking for a narrow sheaf launch here at this Yamato. What a narrow sheaf launch is when you're dropping torpedoes on a target that is just slightly moving away. So you do have to aim pretty far ahead, as you can see by the gray indicator, to be able to register a hit. However, his friend in the Shimakaze launched 2 of his 3 torpedo salvos, torpedo spreads at the Yamato, so his torps will be able to get there first. The Yamato's only at 13,000 hit points, and it does appear that his course is still true and straight. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of the way. The Shimakaze manages to take care of the Iowa with his third 5 set of torpedoes. A very excellent play by him. And then he picks up the double strike. Very nice play. Bad short 1 from Conqueror. If you're watching this replay, if any of your friends are, that was a very, very nice drop that you did right there. So because of these 2 Japanese DDs absolutely taking care of business over here, the score is now only 393 to 503. But unfortunately, disaster strikes. That Minotaur that's over there is complete cancer, to be honest with you, and is running the radar, I believe. Yep, there it is. So very unfortunate here for 1. He's trying to get out of the way. He's trying to speed up here and continue to move forward and try to keep himself behind the outcropping of the island. You can also see the Tirpitz's secondaries are coming in on him as well. Very, very close to getting hit. And, oh boy, more shells coming in. Will he be able to get out of dodge? Unfortunately, no. The Minotaur's salvo managed to take care of business. However, his torpedoes are still running nice and true at the enemy Tirpitz, so we'll see if he's going to be able to register some hits here. It appears the Tirpitz is turning slightly to starboard. I don't think he realizes the imminent danger that he's in, and it looks like torpedoes 2 and 3 from that left salvo are going to take care of business. Nope, 3 and 4, and he manages to get the detonation. Depth strike number 3, and it's just a flesh wound. Well, that was extremely beneficial for his team. And with that being said, we're now going to take a look at the post-battle results. Alrighty guys, taking a look here at one's post-battle results. 313,000 credits received, 2.4k total EXP, 3 dev strikes, and it's just a flesh wound, a pretty rare medal, dealing 172,000 points of damage, 5 shell hits, and 9 torpedoes struck home. He sank 3 enemy ships. Taking a look at the team score, his team did end up taking care of business. The Yamato and the Zhao and the Shimakaze were able to make a very nice job at winning that game. The Yamato 2.7k base EXP, won here with 2.4k base EXP, and then again, that Conqueror guy doing some work at 2,000 base EXP. So a very nice carry from 2 Japanese DDs and of course the Yamato, but credit to one, he stuck in there. A little bit of RNG help there with that detonation, but a very nice performance by him in this ship. Taking a look at the detailed report, 170,000 of the damage dealt was from the torpedoes, so of course the vast majority of that done. So one, thank you very much for sending in this replay. From what I understand in your email, you're from Thailand. I was there in February, and I really did enjoy myself in Bangkok and Pattaya. So yeah, the country is a very nice place, at least where I was at. And yeah, I appreciate it very much for you sending in the replay. So with that being said, this is the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated. And with that being said, guys and gals, as always, have a great day.